Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe, A Real American, and the O-ring version Duke in this classic review. Now, this was a mail order for Series 2, and then he was carded on Series 3. Now, I will not be going over the two different versions, as there really wasn't too much of a difference. Now, I will say this, and I couldn't find them. I had them. I think I may have actually sold them, is there are two different helmets. This helmet here does not have the pieces, not have the holes for the visor. And then on one of them, he does have holes for the visor. So before anyone gets really mad and starts yelling and going, that's not his helmet had holes, there's two different versions, head over to 3djoes.com. That is where I had to go and double check. I believe on the mail order, he didn't have it, because when I look at the mail order over on 3D Joe's, it actually shows this helmet. On the other one, he's throwing them both up, which makes it look like there may have been a production run. There's also change in the backpack right there, where it has a cross in the back. I don't know if I have the other one. Again, I can't find the other Duke. I think I may have sold him because his heel blew out by trying to putting him on a stand that was just a little bit too big. Always be careful with that. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to take a look at this guy. I don't know if he was the mail order. I don't have the sticker that came with the mail order to put the U.S. flag on it. But we're going to take a look at him, go over everything, his look, his sculpt and everything. But anyway, I think I've talked too much, probably a little bit too much for the beginning of this. So please, if you have a story about this, did you get this in the mail order, or did you have to wait for it on card? Maybe you're like me and didn't really like Duke. As a matter of fact, I hated Duke. I've come around to like him, especially the classified version. But anyway, I've talked too much. Let's get to taking a look at this guy. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like looking at this stuff and going back in time, take a second, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classic review. All right, so here we have our Duke. Again, is this the mail away? Is this the carded one? I really have no idea. So what we're going to do is, as I always like to do, is start with the accessories first. All right, and the first thing that we'll look at is his submachine gun. Now, this is the same submachine gun that came with Stalker, only this one is in green. Stalker's is black. It has a nice little barrel right here. Here's the magazine for it that's kind of going to drop out here. I always hated the stock because it meant that it could only go in on the right hand. Okay, does kind of make sense. Here's your grip for it. You even have, I love the fact that they always put the safety right there. All right, no trigger guard because obviously they don't have trigger fingers. And they're usually molded the exact same on both sides, although this one here, obviously not. And then you have your iron sight. Again, I always like that gun a lot. Here we have the backpack, the same one that came with Airborne, so I believe I've already done that review. This was a bedroll, all right, and this is not a shovel. I forget what it's called, but Daredevil Dave gets mad every time that I call it a shovel. It looks like a shovel to me because look at that. It has a little handle here, and then it has this little shovel piece, and you dig with it. It is a trench tool, a entrencher. I don't know what it is. It's an effing shovel. Anyway, here's the bedroll. For some odd reason, with Airborne, we thought that it was, well, a parachute. With Duke, we never thought it for some odd reason. Either way, this is his bedroll. When you look at the design of it, it's really nice, okay? You can see where you have the straps that are holding it down, and I love the fact that you can see all the wrinkles in it. As for your entrenching tool, aka a shovel, I think it looks really good. It's got the nice little handle here. You got some pouches right down here at the bottom and a pouch right there. Nothing on the inside, although there is another one that has a cross that goes right across it. Here we have our binoculars. Also, something was just delivered from Amazon, if you heard that in the background. The binoculars here, as cool as they were, I always hated that the strap was just in plastic because it never set properly, and that's perfectly fine. It was good for taking little, acting like he was actually looking through them because I thought it looked pretty good. But Just got to focus a little bit better there. There's your, man, I totally lost my train of thought. Your lens is right there. Little piece right up here. I always found it weird how it kind of went down like that. I never really saw binoculars that look like that, but I don't believe, and I'm not going to say that they don't exist, but as a kid, I never really noticed, all right? And then there's the bottom. That's also Roman at the door, whimpering to get in. As for the helmet, as I mentioned earlier, there is another version that does have the little holes here so you can put a visor on it. But here it's the exact same helmet, just without the holes that we saw in Series 1. So this is the earpiece that's going to kind of protect you. It has a nice little lip right there. And then you can kind of see where it got molded together like anything else. All right. All right. Now, as for Duke, not my favorite figure as a kid, although I really come to appreciate what Duke is. So we're going to take a look at him. He's got the nice hair. I mean, this guy is a model for sure. I mean, this is a guy, you know, he should be on the poster of every Army recruiting poster that there is. But as we can see here, it does look good. They try and make it look like a strands of hair. It's not just really smooth. So it does give you that, just a little bit of depth. He has that ridiculous smile. Once again, eyes are painted the same as the eyebrows and all of them. And the one thing that I never realized, I was on a show with Patrick Stewart from the Full Force, is he mentioned how their faces were molded in the proper color. Never really noticed, but it definitely makes sense. And it is what kind of changes or takes away from some of the newer O-rings that they're doing. So, but nice nose, ears look good. So get down here to the collar. He is wearing a shirt underneath it. And then he does have a collar underneath it. Almost looks like he's wearing a secondary collared shirt. It wraps around. And as we go down, there are no buttons on it, but again, really hard to do something like that. There is his insignia for whatever group of the military that he's part of. He's part of the Army, but whatever division, that's what I was looking for. A couple pockets on the shirt. He has this nice bandolier where we're going to see a grenade. You got the pin right there, and then you just have a couple little pouches. Now, where does the bandolier go? I don't know. I guess they expect you to think the bandolier is what is holding on the backpack, so you didn't need to see the back, which is odd because all the original figures, you know, they had these straps that you would see all the way on the back, and unfortunately, they don't do it here. As we get down to, well, we can take a look at his arms here. Rivets are always on they always go in on the inside and then are capped off on the outside. He has a full shirt here. You can even see the cuffs, how they are right here. And they're up a little bit further, so they don't go right down to the wrist, and obviously the hands are the same. The other thing that I was told by Patrick Stewart, and I'll probably be mentioning him on a lot of these, is that when you look at this here, when you turn the swivel arm battle grip, there was never a break. The muscle was never too big. The arm wasn't too big. So it is a seamless turn. This is the type of stuff that I never realized, and I'm loving that I'm getting to learn this stuff. As for his belt, here's his belt buckle right here. It has one of those fabric belts that a lot of us had. Now, I do have to say, very disappointing in these ones is they no longer have, or at least I haven't seen many in a few that I've done, is that they no longer have the belt loop. And the original ones all had the belt loop, and it really added a lot to the design of it, and it actually told you the time and the care and the detail they were looking at. A couple little pouches here. Here's one on this side. This one is a little bit bigger. All right. Matter of fact, that one just looks like it never ended. This looks like it's AI now that I look at it. Crotch looks good there. He does have different style of pockets where you can actually see the whole pocket right here. This side of the leg, on the thigh, there is nothing, where on this side we can kind of see his pistol painted in black with a nice holster. And then you get the buckle right there, and it does go all the way around his leg. Again, odd they would do that, but not make the bandolier go all the way around. As for the boots on this side, you got the nice little sheath knife, which he doesn't have on this side. I guess you don't need two knives. And then you have what, again, I think this is supposed to be a design of shoelaces, but rather than try and do that, they didn't. Even here on the sheath, you can see that this thing goes all the way around his boot. Like, it's not part of the boot. He put it around his boot. You can even right there, you have your buckle. So wonderful design. And I kind of look at these, and again, I mentioned that they're more like snowboard boots or bindings, where they just kind of clasp together. Maybe this is really how it's supposed to look. And if you know, if you served in the military and you're like, nope, this is how the boots were, please let me know in the comments, because I love learning this type of stuff, man. If I'm going to be doing this type of stuff and I can learn something, it goes far. And then right here we have, again, the holes. Always be careful. I have another Duke, or at least I sold them, I don't know. I was trying to put them on a stand, and the stand was a newer one, and it was made too big, and it popped off his heel. And to say that it upset me would be an understatement. All right. As for loading him up, backpack, and again, you can actually put this behind it. I never did. Matter of fact, until just now, I didn't know you could when I was looking at 3D Joes. And once again, when it comes to their weapons, if you can get the gun in, then do it nice and smooth. Do not risk breaking their thumbs. I know that this can go in there. I'm not going to stretch it or pressure it too much. So if that's how it has to sit, that's how it has to sit. You don't have to do that with the newer figures, as they're made out of different type of plastic, especially the 6-inch classified figures. But there you go. That is your G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero classic review of Duke. Alright, so there you go. That is your G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, the classic review of Duke. I'll mention it again. If you're working with 6-inch figures, please, if you're posing them and you're taking pictures, try and get them in the right types of firing position, or like their guns would be holding. When it comes to O-ring stuff, when it comes to stuff that is older than your kids and how older than some of you watching this, if you can get the hand in there, get the gun or the weapon, whatever it is, in their hand, just put it in anyway. If you can't, don't try it. You don't want to have a figure with a broken thumb. As for the binoculars, I threw it on the back. I've never seen that. I never thought about doing that until I was looking at 3D Joes. But anyway, tell me a story about this if you have one. Did you get it in the mail order? Was it a surprise? Maybe your parents ordered it for you and you didn't even realize it because you didn't fully understand what flag points were. But anyway, tell me something about this figure. Whether it be this version or the carded version, it doesn't matter. Again, it's the same version as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Please, you stayed this long, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because it helps out more than you can realize. But I'm going to get out of here. But you're like, I totally need to see a vehicle. And you're like, that's right. Here is the hiss. And down here will be the playlist of all the G.I. Joe Real American Hero classic reviews that I've done. Take care.